once you repent, once you make gold, you have divine alignment. And then you experience escapes, windfalls, mysterious saves at the last minute. Everything works out, and people think, gee, how did you do that? It's a miracle. That is the result of divine alignment. Now, when you're out of alignment, when you're in sin, it's just one accident after another. You're grading with the universe. You aren't flowing. There's no saving. Nobody comes to your aid. It's just like nothing works out. It's a life of frustration. You want divine alignment, and then it's a perfect flow. And at the last minute, God shows up. Doesn't matter. You get windfalls out of nowhere. When you think, well, this is impossible. How could this happen? God is so clever. He does things and just out of the blue. That's what you want. It's called synchronicity. You're synchronized. You flow. Experience universal breakthroughs and favors. You have the favor of God. It's an amazing thing. And everybody thinks, she is so lucky. She is born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Not so. She could have been born in poverty, but she has the favor of God. And now everything works out miraculously. There was a transition time in my life when I was suddenly alone. Totally alone. Listen to what I wrote in my journal. If you don't fit in, it's because you're made to stand out. If you don't belong, it's because God is calling you higher. If relationships are falling away, God's making the space for the right people. Stop fighting the separation. If I didn't have my journal to write in, it saved me. And I felt so much better immediately. I just liked being with God. And soon, people came in. Pneumaticity. You make a space, and new people arrive that are right for you. Loving beings, godly people who won't hold you back. Never fight separation. Never fight the fact that you're alone. It's a good sign, because now you have God. He's the head honcho of the universe. He made everything. And now you're going to be okay. Very violent times. We can't express ourselves without fear, while simultaneously society is losing deterrence. People don't go to jail, they're let out. So if you express something they don't like, they can come and try to kill you. If they're put in jail, they're let out the same day, and they come and get you for telling the truth about them. It's really scary. I lived in a small town. The cops were only there a few hours a day. They wouldn't keep them in jail, and I really feared them coming back because I had told somebody what they did. Society is losing deterrence while we can't express ourselves without fear. That's why self-expression, speaking the truth, is amendment number 1. It's the most important thing. It was the kids that killed millions in China. It was the kids that killed millions in Nazi Germany and adjacent countries. It's really scary. Half of them were liberal kids. Most of them are liberal. Half said that it's okay to kill Trump and kill Elon Musk. They're okay with murder. They're okay with justifying murder. There has never been a scarier time. And there's ageism, so there's no respect for elders. They know the truth. They've been brainwashed. It's no different from Mao's China, when kids killed millions. It can be scary when you start to reject the narcissist because it's the amygdala in their brain. They need approval so desperately, they're empty. So when you reject them or when you go silent, that's ostracism. And in the ancient brain, in ancient times, ostracism meant death from the tribe. It meant starvation and no protection. So it's they panic. And that panic will be manifested in a smear campaign because you are the rejecter. You've got to disentrench from the system, but it's very scary when you do. You're dealing with a sick person, constitutionally sick. That's just the way they're set up. And there's no answer to it. They need approval so desperately. The amygdala, part of the brain, needs it so desperately, and when it doesn't get it anymore, watch out. Get protection. Fence up. When it comes to your living conditions, don't live with other people if you can. I'm telling you, I did it once. It's something that I'll never forget. It was half a life ago. But I was having trouble with a gang of boys invading me in the desert. And this old man came down from Ranchita. He was a veterinarian. He was 70. I was around 40. He says, I have an Arabian horse ranch. Why don't you come up and live with me just for light housekeeping, no rent, and because I need somebody to watch over things. I'm getting on in years. And you can write your book in privacy. He had a beautiful home, 10-acre Arabian horse ranch, a kindly elderly gentleman, a professional, a veterinarian. Well, I thought, gee, that sounds really good. That would be okay. He's just an old man. He won't bother me. I won't bother him. I'll take care of the house. And yeah. This was when I was very naive. This is when I thought old people are not evil. Old people are all good. I thought that. Well, he moved all my furniture up there. I burned all my bridges. And I thought this would be great. I can ride horses, I can write my book, I can take walks over the ranch. It was beautiful country in Ranchita. As soon as I got up there, he did a switch. He locked me out in the snow to show me who's who. He let my cat out, who's been a house cat her whole life. I panicked over that. And he had friends who were very anti-female. I was stuck there in this house having to adapt to these people who I couldn't stand after having my own apartment and protection and not knowing any better. I was now in this situation. Within a few weeks, he showed his other side. I had to go with him to get hay. He would leave me off in other cities to hitchhike home just to show me who's who. In his mind, being mean put him in a dominant position. Very dangerous having to hitchhike home. Very, very dangerous. Then he demanded my check, my monthly check, putting me in a desperate position where I'd have to live there and take his crap. Then he demanded I sleep with him. In other words, he wanted to make me a sex slave, unable to get away because I didn't have any money to get a separate apartment. These things were happening quickly. I totally panicked. And this was how God saved me. This man introduced me to a friend of his who had a cabin in Old Borrego, a ghost town. I wrote this man saying, this man is abusing me. Can I take one of those cabins? And he wrote back, yes. I thought, here, I can get away. I didn't tell Dr. Mott, the vet, what was going on. One day, a friend lent me his car, and I went to live in the new place. That was a save. God miraculously saved me from this situation. but it taught me a lesson. Never move in with anybody. Women, never move in with a man. He's in control. He'll be one way trying to get you in, and then he'll switch because he's in control. That's the way it is. Never, ever, ever, until you're married, move in with a man. This was the scariest situation. I still think about it all the time, even though it was a long time ago. It was so awful, feeling like I couldn't do anything about it. And I sat in the corner in my little room just so sad that I was trapped in this hostile situation. But it taught me more than a library of books. That was my Ph.D. in the streets. I was so naive to trust this person and to move in and to burn all my bridges. Don't ever do that. The opposite thing is the homosexual. The homosexual. He hasn't got a place, you do. This is a time where many people are homeless. A lot of men, they don't know how to make a home for themselves. Women usually do. So they will butter her up to move in to her place. This is happening all over the place. It's happening with women who are maybe obese, not that good looking, and this buff, fit man, they're usually fit, starts to date her. He's looking for a place to live, but he comes on that he's interested in her. She's desperate for a relationship. She thinks, we're in a love relationship. I have a boyfriend. She can be obese, he's fit. She can't believe her good luck. He moves in and he takes over, and then she can't get rid of him, and it becomes abusive. That's the other side of the coin. Don't move in with a man, and don't let a man move in with you, because he'll take over. He'll be there all the time. You want your own privacy, your own domain. You won't like it when somebody takes over your home. And sometimes it's impossible to get rid of him, legally or otherwise. There are some horror stories. Read online about what happens with homosexuals. They want to get in out of the rain or out of the heat. They may use dating apps as a way to look for an apartment. They come in through sex. They give her sex, and she thinks we're in a relationship, and then she's sunk. Your living arrangement is very important. Your home is your privacy. It's your protection from other people and the elements. It's your self-discovery. It's your way of being alone, with just you and God, where you can order it yourself according to what you want. Because when the homosexual comes in, he'll say, let's put the TV over here. Or let's not have your cat in here, put him out. Or, he'll just raid the refrigerator, and she'll pay. And he'll say, I'll pay half the rent next month, after staying there a month, and then he ends up not paying. And she ends up doing all the work anyway. Don't let it happen. You want your privacy. That's all I got to say about living arrangements. I would never do that again. And watch who you take in, whether it be a renter or anything. I don't want to be a landlord, because it's too hard to get rid of them legally. And they'll mess the place up. Or they'll invite a bunch of friends and you got to deal with lost privacy. Your living arrangement should come first to you, and be very careful of other people. Wonder, why would this happen, that I would be so naive to move in with this old man, thinking that it would be just fine? Well, my parents, I guess, never explained life to me. That not everybody is nice. That just because they're old doesn't mean they're not evil. There's so many things that should have been explained to me that weren't. I don't know, I guess there was alcoholism in the family, and maybe they didn't do it because of that. But especially a woman should be told that the world is evil. You have to have boundaries up. Don't let everybody in. don't move in, and don't even go to somebody's house, and don't even get into their car. If you don't know them real well. They told the kids that in the 50s, never get in somebody's car. But you see, things are much worse now. Girls and boys should be coached to be very careful about people. But you see, in the new age, the liberal age, we're told that people are good, that they're basically trustworthy, and that's not true. Boundaries. Boundaries are the most important thing. I don't know why I had to go through so much to learn them, but I learned more than a library of books in my Ph.D. in the streets. I never learned this about people in school. I just learned about abnormal psychology, and I didn't learn about evil people. And it's taking over our world because they don't believe in God anymore. Church attendance has gone way down. People just don't, especially the newer generation, doesn't believe in God. And with that comes evil in society. Watch out. To say it, most people are liberals. We can't have any more dealing with the left. They want us dead. That's what they say. And when somebody's assassinated like Charlie Kirk, they're glad about it. It's a very scary time. We can't persuade them. We can't convince them of anything. We've all tried it. We've had shouting matches, yelling matches. Nothing does any good. They have their worldview. It's been inculcated for 40, 50 years. Their parents think it, even their grandparents think it. The liberal worldview. They cannot be convinced any other way. So we've just got to stay away and fence up. Left wants open borders. Just let everybody in. Don't vet them. The whole world is good. Let everybody in. They see babies or unborn babies as just parasites that can just be killed. We can't have anything more to do with them. It's a bad situation. We can't be yoked with unbelievers, the Bible says. That's what it is. The time has come to separate and stop arguing. We're coming into a civil war in this country. And let's hope this Charlie Kirk thing, that the silver lining is, it will unify us. But I think we're getting more and more separate. It's a worldview war, a war of views. No different from communist countries or Nazi Germany, a sudden split, and there was no more arguing. It happened in history, it's happening now. Once I got in my tiny dusty cabin in the desert where the vet's friend rescued me and gave me a cabin. A tiny dusty cabin, a shack built in 1930, and I was so happy in that shack, separate from that man, even though he had a wonderful home, a beautiful home on 10 acres in a much better climate with these beautiful horses. I was so much happier in my shack than living with him. See, that's how it works. You got to see that it's the environment. It's not the house. It's the people around you that form your environment, and we maladapt to them. Well, he came down to get me like I was his slave, to collect me. That's how he saw me. That I had escaped. He was very angry. He was not angry at me for being wrong. He was angry at me for being free. Free of him. The narcissist can't take that. They don't want you free. Boy, he spread smear campaigns against me. Luckily, where I was at, they didn't believe him. He came down and tried to poison people against me. He did everything. But God was on my side. God gave me escape, and eventually he just crumbled and went away. But boy, what an experience. Don't get involved with evil people, ever. When you're with a narcissist, you're at the mercy of somebody who he will decide whether you exist or not. He will decide by either giving you the silent treatment, meaning you don't exist, and then throwing you a crumb. Oh, now you exist. You don't want anybody else to decide 1 inch of your life. Maladapt, you're losing it. It may not feel like that because he's kind every once in a while. He shows, mercy every once in a while. No, that's intermittent reinforcement. That's making you a love addict, and that makes you blind to the situation.